It's the Sumo Show, the podcast that discusses everything that's going on in Japanese Grand Sumo. Whether you've been steeped in sumo lore since the Heisei era, like me, Stan, or you're a dedicated fan who wants to get deeper into what's happening on and off dohyo, like our good friend Troy, or you're brand new to the world of sumo and just want to learn what it's all about, no matter how much you know about the sport, the Sumo Show has something for you. So let's throw some purifying salt into the ring, do a few big Shiko foot stomps, and see what's new on this week's episode of the Sumo Show. So konnichiwa, everyone, and okayari. Welcome back to my co-host Troy.
Well, how to do?
Howdy doody, howdy doody.
So, I was thinking earlier today, as I was being afflicted by a weird brain, what do they call that? I've forgotten it. It's
earworm.
Earworm. Thank you so much. That we could rebrand the Sumo Show as Basho Man.
Basho Man?
Yeah, and we can be like Basho Man. I want to be.
I'm sure if we want to pay money to.
Well, aren't we protected under? Yeah, right. Yeah, I think we've proven we have no protection under anything.
Yeah, how could you even let that half sentence out of your mouth?
No, yeah.
We are now officially 1 year out from when the old channel got shut down.
From the great disaster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it feels like it was just yesterday. Well, wait a minute. If it's been 1 year, then how long have we been doing this?
We have been doing this over 3 years now.
Wow.
We finished year 2 somewhere around the end of the March Basho. March Basho was when the first time we tried any of it. This Basho was the first full Basho we did kind of officially.
Nice. Well, congratulations. Happy anniversary. And
happy anniversary. I didn't get you anything.
Nothing? Really?
I just got you me. You know what I got you?
What?
I watched the sumo and I'm ready to talk about it.
Nice. That's a gift that keeps on giving, frankly. And it's a gift for everyone.
You know what else I got for you?
Mm.
I've got an updated Fantasy Oyakata list.
I'm sure I've sailed directly to the top. Oh no!
You don't know what happened during.
I don't. It's been a week. It's been a week for me. I usually like to wake up and peruse the sumo subreddit, and I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, then we could talk about that some.
Well, thank goodness we have a podcast all about that.
Thank goodness you set aside time to talk about it so that I can update you on the thing that we're going to talk about.
Listen, I like to go to the source.
Of course.
Well, yeah. So day 13 just ended.
Day 13. Well, yeah, day 14 is getting ready to kick off in a couple of hours in Japan. Day 13. This is day 13. Friday was day 13.
Yeah.
As it always is. Day 13 is always Friday the 13th. Every Basho.
Really?
Yeah. 13th day is always Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot. So I'm gonna. Some people who are watching this who are up to date are, I'm gonna be cagey about it because Troy doesn't know.
Oh no. Well, we're all in for a ride, then, aren't we?
It was so much fun. But you don't know what the situation is, and so I won't belabor that point too long because there's a lot to talk about going into the final weekend. We're poised to go into the final weekend. 3 days left, and waiting to see who finishes what's going to happen. How are all these dramas going to play out?
Yeah, hey, quick before we do that, I want to remind folks, wherever you may be, maybe you're watching on Twitch, or maybe you're watching on YouTube, maybe you're watching on demand, and are lively, yet not live.
Do we stream to demand?
We do at their command.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure that you're liking and subscribing. Share the link with a friend that you think ought to really be a fan of ours. We are an award-worthy podcast. I'll remind you.
That's great. An award worthy. That's
That's my way
that's the kind of
around.
marketing. This come see this award worthy. What?
Yeah. So if there's awards out there, hey, just know we're worthy of them. And
Right.
but we can only get there with your subscription. Yeah.
If you've got an award out there, we've earned it already. Why not give it to us?
Honestly, truly, if you're just sitting on a big sack of awards, hand them over. We'll take them. So yeah.
I gotta use that. I'm gonna use that for a bunch of stuff.
Oh, dude.
Award worthy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's I use it a lot for my day job work. Hey, this is award worthy programming, and nobody's really picked up on that, but
And I got it just like that.
you did indeed. You did indeed. As another award worthy pal.
That's right. Someone else who hasn't gotten any awards. Yeah. So maybe the best place to start is where were things when last you were updated? What do you know about where things stood?
Things were we were demanding more of Hoshoryu. We were disappointed at one of the Ukrainians. Yeah,
Okay.
she was
not having a terribly good show.
Yeah, that's too bad. I'll tell you, they took his magic away.
Well, let me see. I'll tell you one thing. Let's start with Shishi then.
Okay.
That'll be relatively quick. After we last talked on day 8.
Yeah.
And
day 7.
Shishi was day 8.
Oh, we talked on day
Sunday,
8.
Yeah. Shishi was 1-7.
Yeah, wow.
I've got good news for you. His record is better so far this week. Since day 8, he has won 2 more.
Oh, okay. Well,
which means he's 2-3 over this period, which is not great either.
Not great, but better than it was. Yeah.
He's 3-10 right now.
Oy, oy, oy.
Which is not awesome. But he just won on day 13. He beat Churanomi.
Okay.
He wound up beating Nishikigi and Churanomi.
All right.
And this fight was something else. Boy, you want to see that. It was quite a fight.
Okay, why? Like, what would made it?
So neither one of them is big Supati, slappy pusher thrusters type. They're both kind of get in and grab the belt type of wrestlers. And they had a big slappy fight. Okay. It was not technically great sumo. It was not technically great sumo, but it was very exciting. And it went, and they were chasing each other around the ring, and they were both exhausted by the end of it. It was a super exciting match, and Shishi won it.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Shishi is
win in some kind of style. Like I say, I don't think anyone's going to hold that up as the pinnacle of sumo, but it might be on people's matches of the day list because it was really exciting.
Yeah, Shishi does sort of find himself, in situations unprecedented, odd, unusual.
He has a very eccentric style. He does not have a lot of classical sumo style even when he's not wiggling his butt. He's a big guy. He's strong. He's nimble, and he's got good wrestling sense. But he's not. He's not a good example of much sumo wise. Whereas the other Ukrainian, Aonishki, who's doing quite better, he does very good sumo.
Yeah.
So let's see. Speaking of Aonishki, I'll just pull this up here, and I'll see that on day 8, he had been the exact opposite. He had been 7-1, and he's having a great tournament.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that he did not have as good the next 5 days.
Oh no.
In fact, he did exactly the same as Shishi. He went 2-3 over the last 5
Oh
days.
no. Oh, what
So
happened?
he is now 9-4. Well, he beat Chiyoshima, same guy that Shishi beat today on Monday, and then he lost to Wakataka Kage.
Oh.
You know what? He was doing well. Right? He's ranked at Maegashira 9, and he was 8-1. So they started pushing him up to fight higher level guys. And so he lost to Wakataka Kage and he lost to Ozeki Kotozakura. So he lost to Komusubi Wakataka Kage and Ozeki Kotozakura
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
and
Okay.
Sekiwaki Daisho. So they pushed him up. He got his reward. We often talk about it in sumo. You get the reward in the tournament if you're doing well. You get rewarded by being pushed up against guys who can beat you.
Wow. Well,
And
that's a
they did.
bummer. I mean, congratulations, pal.
But today he beat Hakuoho,
Oh,
which is a bummer for me because
yeah.
um, but yeah, that's what happened to him. He went he went 1-8. Uh, yeah, 1-8. He got his Kachikoshi on day 9, and then they pushed him up to fight upper level guys, and the predictable happened. Although he looked good in those fights. He certainly showed gave a good reporting of himself, but he lost them.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. I guess I wasn't expecting to hear that news, but hey.
Well, I mean that's what we knew. I guess we didn't really talk about it a lot, but all the people who were ranked down in the middle to lower part of the division, who were part of the Yusho race, who were doing well, the expectation in week 2 is if they keep doing well, they'll
Yeah.
they'll get the reward of getting to fight up the Banzuke. And sometimes with people like Takakeisho, when he won uh, his when he came up that one time, his first time, was up for the task. Most people aren't. It's a learning. It's a reward in that it's a learning process that they wouldn't get otherwise. So it is
Right.
very much a chance to learn, get an experience they otherwise wouldn't have. Sadly, it almost always comes with losses rather
Right.
than wins and envelopes of cash.
Yeah, so it's an acknowledgement that you are in fighting shape.
Yeah,
You're moving in the right
you've,
direction. Can you handle
you've
it?
earned
And
the chance. You've earned the right to have a chance to do this, and
yeah,
you've earned the right to learn that you're not quite ready yet, probably.
right. Right.
But again, if they do snatch just even one win, they get a big pile of envelopes out of
Oh,
that.
do they? Okay, great. All right, that's
Um,
nice. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right, because they're fighting the
yeah,
big ones.
right.
Yeah.
And the big guys who have big piles of envelopes.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're going to talk about Hakuoho, since we just mentioned him, and he's
Mhm.
on my team, who on day 8 was also 7-1, and he has had a terrible week too.
Oh, no.
The only person he beat this week so far is Shodai.
Oh, no.
Yes, he lost to Meisei and Daisho and Hoshoryu and Onosato and Aonishiki. So he got his Kachikoshi. That beating Shodai got him his Kachikoshi, but then so he went. He was 8-1, and he's lost 4 straight since then.
Bummer.
Bad for me.
Yeah.
In the Oyakata game,
The
bad
Fantasy
for me.
Oyakata is yeah. Well, them's the
Um,
breaks, right?
but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. So he's looked pretty good. He lost. Which one was it? The Onosato just blew him away. He looked good against Hoshoryu. He had a real chance against Daisho and just came out on the wrong end of a very exciting match. Aonishiki won today, but Hakuoho had control of most of the match. Aonishiki did a really good defensive job to win today's match. So you'll enjoy watching that too.
Yeah, so some fighting spirit to be
Yeah.
witnessed.
Yes, there's been a lot of fighting spirit this tournament. We were talking about that last time too, right? It's Been a lot of very exciting matches. Sometimes, you're going to have bouts, and a lot of times it's quick, kind of perfunctory sumo, and you'll hope for a few good, hotly contested, exciting matches.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of those this tournament.
Okay.
All throughout, from week 1 on, still to today here on day 13. All right, who else? Who else do we want to talk about? Scan it up here. Anyone you're thinking of before we get to the big guys that you're curious to hear
I've
about?
got my mind on the big guys, but I'm certain I'm trying to reflect and remember what my roster is.
Trying to remember what your roster is.
Yeah.
Let's see. What can I tell you about your roster?
I almost clicked on it in the middle of you talking. I thought, no, that's going to show that.
You had Shishi. We talked about him.
Yeah.
With Aonishiki, we talked about him.
Yeah.
You have Tamawashi. For some reason, you picked Tamawashi, and I made fun of you for it.
You did. Who's getting a last laugh?
And on day 8, he was 2-6.
Oh, come on, buddy.
That was the last time you saw him. I tell you what, he's won more than 2 matches since then.
Oh, good.
He's won 3 more matches, so he's 5-8.
All right. I mean, I'll take that.
Is better, but he's 5-8, which means he's Makakoshi.
Oh, buddy.
He's won his last 2 matches. He beat Abi and Chiyoshima.
Okay.
Sanyaku level, you picked Daisho like everyone.
Yeah.
And of course, you picked Hoshoryu at the very top.
I did indeed.
All right. Well, so let's talk about Daisho, because he came into this tournament with the outside possibility of earning an Ozeki promotion.
Right.
Right. He needed to get 13 wins. And he was, after day 8, he had 2 losses already, which meant he had to run the table in week 2.
Right. Yeah.
Any losses would kind of scuttle his hope of an Ozeki promotion. And so on day 9, he lost.
Oh, buddy.
He lost to Tamawashi, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one of your Tamawashi wins, was a Daisho loss. In a fantasy Oyakata game sense, most of us picked Daisho, so we're all. Yeah. It's not really going to change much. But he lost to Tamawashi. Then he beat Hakuoho and Takeru Fuji and Aonishiki. So he beat another one of your guys. And then he lost to Hoshoryu today.
Okay.
In fact, the Hoshoryu match, he came out and he came out with a big Tachi-ai, pushed Hoshoryu back, but Hoshoryu recovered and beat him.
Well,
so there you go.
No Ozeki.
So no Ozeki promotion for Daisho. That's not.
Do we get extra points if the person that we picked gets promoted?
No. No, we get it because that happens after the tournament.
Got you. Do we get?
It's never for sure. No matter what, it's not for sure until after the tournament when the rankings committee gets together and makes decisions like that.
Well, now wait a minute. What if somebody, let's say, somebody who submits something to the Fantasy Oyakata, do they get, if they have good fighting spirit, do they get extra points for that?
Yes, so the rules for our game are you get extra points for winning if you're one of the guys you pick wins the tournament.
Yeah.
One of the guys you picks finishes second in the tournament.
Right.
And you get a point for each special prize, including Kimboshi.
So if I feel like I've demonstrated fighting spirit, that's my question. Like, do
you as the Oyakata get the fighting spirit?
Yeah, I think that we should have a little you really sucked at this prize.
You really suffered. We should give you a point because
You really struggled. Struggling Spirit Award.
but you kept going. How did you keep going? Well, I picked the names and I couldn't take them back.
That's right. But I stayed the course.
That's right.
Anyway, all right. I see where this is all going. I see it.
Yeah. All right. So that was a Daisho thing. Who else? Oh, Kirishima, our other Sekiwake, who has come up in this conversation a little, who has stated that he really wants to try to get his Ozeki rank back
Yeah.
after a year and a half or so, and that he's fighting for it. He didn't have a great first week. He was 5-3 when we last saw him. But he's had a super second week. He's gone 5-0. So he's now got 10 wins.
All right.
Which is a great, right? If he wants to get Ozeki, he needs to average 11 wins over 3 tournaments. So if he gets one more win, he's officially at the start of an Ozeki run.
All righty. Nice.
So that's good. He beat Takeru Fuji, Ozeki Kotozakura, Ichi Yamamoto, Oshoma, and he beat the Yokozuna. He beat Hoshodyu.
He did. Wow.
He beat Hoshodyu on day 12. Which is a big point.
Okay.
Coming up to what's going on. So that would be Hoshodyu's third loss.
Oh, buddy.
Right? He had those two. Let me open up the Hoshoryu file and we can look at that. Right?
Yeah.
He had those 2 week 1 losses, which we talked about.
Yeah.
He gave up 2 Kimboshi, 2 gold stars to Oho and Abi. Which we said he can't be doing that.
Right.
And he sealed it up, right? He went on a winning streak from that point. He had been 6-2 after day 8. And then on day 9, he beat Ichi Yamamoto. On day 10, he completely annihilated Ura. On day 11, he beat Hakuoho. And on day 12, he lost to Kirishima.
Wow. Okay.
Which was he and Kirishima have fought a lot over the years.
Yeah.
You may remember a year ago, they were the 2 that were vying for an Ozeki an Ozeki promotion.
Interesting. Just speaking
right?
real quick on the
right. No, they were vying for Yokozuna promotion together. What am I talking about? They were going for, the question was, and at one point it looked like Kirishima for sure was going to get it ahead of Hoshodyu. But then Kirishima had those injuries which kind of have had him hobbling around for a year.
Right.
So yeah, they've got a long record, and Kirishima, in the long run, it gets the better of Hoshodyu more often than not. Not recently, but this time it looked like the old days. Kirishima came in and really kind of won that battle.
Nice. Okay.
So
I mean, nice. I say nice. Of course, I'm disappointed, but I'm also excited. I mean, it's like who's going to be that next promotion.
All right. So speaking of the next promotion, that's the one person we haven't talked about really here is Onosato, who was 8-0. We got his Kachikoshi last week. We looked at him.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you that on Monday he fought Ura and had him for breakfast.
And mop the floor with him, I'm imagining. Yeah.
And then he had Ichi Yamamoto and won that one pretty easily. And then he had Wakataka Kage. And he beat him pretty easily. And going into day 12, everyone but Hakuoho had fallen out. So it was Onosato in first and Hakuoho in second. Or sorry, except for Hoshodyu.
Okay.
Everyone except Hoshodyu had dropped back. So it's Onosato, perfect record, and Hoshodyu, the next best record with 2 losses.
Wow.
So Hoshodyu had a buffer. He came in and got that buffer. So he's going into day 11 or 12. I don't remember which it was off the top of my head. With this, I think it was 12, where he's now in this position that even if he loses one, he will still have the lead, which is a great advantage to be in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the final, of course, we know the final match will be Hoshoryu against Onosato. So Hoshoryu has to try and close that gap. He has to hope for Onosato to lose one,
and yeah.
and for he can't lose one.
Right.
And then we know that on day 12 he did.
Yeah.
And Onosato didn't. He beat Hakuoho.
Wow.
So
Okay.
going into day 13, he had a 3-match buffer. He had three matches to go with a 3-match buffer between him and his closest rivals, which means that if he wins even one more, he wins.
He's done. Yes. Yeah.
He wins the U show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hoshoryu has to win all 3, and hope that Onosato loses all 3 so they can have a playoff. Hoshoryu won today. He beat Kotozakura.
Wow. Okay.
Ryozeki fought, and Onosato won like a Yokozuna. He looked super strong, won it without any real doubt, and so he's secured the U show. He's won the tournament. With 2 days to go, he can't be beaten.
That's a great place to be, huh?
Yes. And it's great if you watch it, when you watch the video, that he wins it. Like, he's clear, he's focused on the sumo. He's not thinking about that. But he wins, and just a second stick away from the end of the match, I'm like, okay, I won. That's good too. Oh, I won. Hey, I think, I just won the tournament. Oh my God, I won the tournament. Oh, that means I'm going to be a Yokozuna. And you just see his eyes getting wider and wider as it sinks in.
I got to watch it. That's great. That is great. Now, am I correct? Am I remembering correctly that when Onosato was first starting, or when I first saw him, that he hadn't quite had hair long enough to that's the guy.
And by doing this, I mean, it's never official till it's official, but he's now won 2 tournaments in a row, and he has been absolutely dominant in this one.
Right.
There really is no doubt, but it's not official till it happens.
Right. And they can be, who knows?
He's made Yokozuna after only 13 tournaments in professional sumo, which is a new record.
That's amazing. And it's, clearly he is a true, he's a juggernaut of talent.
Yeah.
And he's young.
Yeah.
This is exciting. I think it's exciting for the sport.
I think it is. I think it's really exciting for the sport. And I think it addresses one of those problems that the sport had made for itself.
Yeah.
Which we talked about previously. I think that it will quell all other issues. And I think also, one of the nice things, I think it takes some pressure off Hoshoryu.
I think it does too. And I hope that
and I hope that is helpful to him, because it would be great if they had a long running. They're both, Hoshoryu also pretty young, not as young as Onosato, but still pretty young. And I hope they have a long, hotly contested Yokozuna reign together.
Yeah, agreed. He is 26 years old.
Hoshoryu?
Yeah, Onosato, 24.
Yeah.
That's something, isn't it? That's wow. When I think about what I was doing at 26, they wouldn't be giving out any prizes.
Yokozuna, I'll tell you that much.
No, sir. But that's something. It's always nice every once in a while when we're talking about all this stuff to take a moment and think about what just incredible athletes they are at so young an age. They've clearly been, and Onosato, I just, who knows what, the sky's the limit with that guy.
Yeah. Well, he is going to be promoted to Sumo's Pinnacle next Wednesday is probably when it'll get announced. Usually the way the timing goes, Tuesday or Wednesday, they make the announcement. And
it seems like what I hope doesn't happen, and I hate to look at the not so silver lining, but he is young, and I it just we talk about it in terms of Hoshoryu, his promotion to that station came with a lot of baggage, that he had to, that he kind of brought with him. And, I wonder what Ono Sato's, is he going to be, is there going to be pressure? Is he going to get the, sort of.
Well, I mean, particularly because he's so young
Yeah.
and because he's only been in the sport for 13 months, it's
Right.
kind of hard to say. But I look at what happened just earlier this year or late last year when he got promoted to Ozeki. That's a similar thing. And
Yeah.
we saw
Yeah.
he had one tournament where he didn't do great, but he still did okay, and he got his head right back in it, and he came in and started winning. So, plus, I think he's super lucky in that his Oyakata is the former Yokozuna Kisen Osato, who is very recently retired in the scheme of things, and they work and train together. And I think that having it, I think it's a huge advantage for particularly a young Rishi doing well to have a coach who has been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that Kisen Osato, or the I can't remember his Oyakata name now off the top of my head, but having him as his coach, having him as a guy he's interacting with on a daily basis, is going to help him navigate these waters more smoothly than kind of avoid some of the dumb problems.
Well, so I had a question and then I lost it for some reason. The phrase "dumb problems" just absolutely knocked it right out of my head.
A dumb question.
There are only dumb questions.
There are no dumb questions.
Only dumb answers.
Yes.
No. So yeah, no, I do wonder too, how would you say that Ono Sato's wrestling style is, it seems very pragmatic. Like he's not like a showy Rikishi, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is someone who he didn't come in to sumo this late because he didn't want to, but he was busy being the best amateur rikishi in the country, which means a lot in Japan.
Yes, right.
He was the amateur yokozuna a couple of times running. He was a university yokozuna. He and everyone was waiting, hoping that he would come in and join pro sumo.
Yeah.
And when he did, he brought a lot of that. He got past the teenage fumbles into the early 20 fumbles.
Got you. Yeah, and so I guess that makes sense as well, because if he has been the winningest sumo from such a young age, that's a good training ground for how to embrace being at the top, and how you got to comport yourself and what that means.
Just to some extent, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And certainly there will be things that will come up. It's different when this is your whole life, right? When you're amateur, you still go back and you have the rest of your life. No matter how good you do in sumo, you've got to go to work on Monday.
Right. Right.
So, and there are, as we've seen Hoshoryu struggle. It's not a struggle that bad, but struggle a little bit with. There
Yeah.
are expectations and things that are, once you get that rank as in the professional world, there are responsibilities and expectations that come with it. And Ono Sato may have some stumbling or growing or missteps along the way too.
Right.
But he's very well positioned to do it. And his style of sumo, as you asked about, is really classical. I
Yeah.
would say. And
yeah.
he's a big dominant guy. And Hoshoryu, this is not at all a knock on him, but he's a flashy guy.
Right.
We look at the way he would win. He would get these weird trips and let someone in and out position them and out maneuver them, which is great. Part of why he is so great. But it also leaves less room for error, is something we talk about in a lot of different situations in sumo.
Yeah, it also feels like Hoshoryu has more emotional
Yes, he does
an
have very
emotional
emotional
game that he
style.
plays. Yeah. You know, with a lot of emotions, a cavalcade of
Yeah,
emotions. But yeah, Onosato seems to be maybe not quite
very
as.
calm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, so we got 3 days to go, or 2 days to go now. We finished Friday. We got Saturday and Sunday, and no matter what happens, Onosato wins this tournament.
Well, that's exciting for him.
Now, I guess the big question, and I'm sure that this will get what gets turned on, is can he get a Zensho Yusho, which is a perfect record, a 15-0.
has somebody done that?
Oh yeah, no, people have done that.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, all right,
But
it's
they
still a great time to do it.
even the like I think Hakuho, the greatest of all, who set the record for most Zensho Yusho, I think his record was 15 or something like that. In his whole career, he got 15 of them. And I think the next best is 8. If I'm
Yeah,
remembering correctly. So
yeah. So it basically, yeah. So it's
yeah, it's been
Hakuho.
done.
Yeah,
It's not a super rare event, but it's not something that happens all the time, even to the best.
yeah. The numbers play out like this. So yeah, so it's the top division. So it's Hakuho at 45. I don't know who Taiho is.
Taiho is Taiho is Oho's grandfather.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, with 32. And then
Those are
Chiyono
most
Fuji.
tournaments. Those are most shows, most tournament wins.
Yeah, that's I'm looking
The
at the unbeaten
most
15 to
undefeated
0.
championships, Hakuho had 16, and I was right. Futabayama had 8. Look at that! I
Oh,
remember that number correctly.
wow, good for
So
you.
Hakuho 16 had twice as many as the next best person ever. Well, I guess since 1949.
Oh, I see how this is broken down.
Yeah.
I get it. That's why I'm confused.
So Futabayama and Taiho, same guy you were saying, Taiho also had 8. So there you go. And if you look at this, that uh, list you're looking at, the people down at the bottom of the top 10 have 4.
Oh, wow.
So you
Okay.
see, that's the that kind of puts a perspective to it. Can he do it? Can he get a Zensho Yusho? Can he get a 15-0 in his tournament that promotes him to Yokozuna?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Maybe. He's got to fight Daisho and Hoshoryu.
Well,
That's all
that's
he has left.
exciting.
If he can beat both of them, Zensho Yusho, and he's off to the races.
Right. Well, then he'll be doing all kinds of record breaking with his record breaking.
Right, he already has it's already broken a record by doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where things stand here going into the final weekend.
Wow. Okay. Well, so I've got some sumo to catch up on then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And we've got video. You know where you can find some videos?
Where?
If you go to the Sumo Show Facebook group.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a Facebook group, and every day I've been making a post about where things stand, and
nice.
in the comments I put links to videos. Now, one of the links is to the link that the video that Kintamiyama posts every day, but he takes it down after about 24 hours.
That's
So
right.
those
So he
links
doesn't
are
get
no
all.
good anymore.
Yeah.
But
So
I've also been putting the links to the NHK daily roundup.
great. Yeah. I've got those pulled up in a tab explosion, but in no particular order. But hey, looking at our Facebook, don't get salty. Come visit us on Facebook. Who
Yeah.
do you think that is?
Uh,
It kind of looks like Hoshoryu, I
it
think,
does look like Hoshoryu.
but I'm not sure. Yeah, and I made it. So
I'm not 100% sure, but if I had to guess, I would say Hoshoryu.
well, friends, if you see this and you're like, I know who that is, tell us. I made it and I don't remember.
I don't remember whose photo I stole.
Yeah, no royalties have been paid.
Yeah, so it's super exciting. Oh, we've got We got 2 days left in the tournament, and the biggest story has already been answered.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't
Well, not
mean
the
there
biggest.
aren't other stories to be told.
There are other stories to be told. Shall we get to that part? Because I'm dying.
Sure.
All right.
Let's get to that other thing.
Let's do it.
Here we go. We are looking at our
Wait,
fantasy.
hold on 1
Oyakata.
second. Wait, hold on. Is this the right one?
Fantasy.
There we go.
Now we can do it.
Fantasy Oyakata. Ah! All right. So here we have the best possible score right now is 49.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you picked Onosato and Wakataka Kage, who 13-0, 10-3. Abi is 7-6. The best in Upper Maegashira is barely.
That's wild.
Does not have Kachikoshi yet.
Wild.
That's how Upper Maegashira is doing.
Jeez.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Right.
Oh boy. In Middle Maegashira, if you had either Onokatsu or Aonishiki, who are 9-4, Onokatsu doing very well.
Yeah.
And in Lower Maegashira, if you had Asakoryu, came out of nowhere.
Yeah. No.
9-4, who also got rewarded with a big bump up. He was 9-3 going into today, and they bumped him up. Let's see, this second week he was fighting Ryuden and Takanosho and
did they ring his bell?
And then they bumped him up to fight Wakataka Kage today.
Oh boy.
and he got some education. That was one of those ones like, yep, he learned something there. He's out of the ring. Get out of there. Get out of here.
Get back to the.
He was one of the group tied for second going into today.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So was Wakataka Kage. So they put them head to head, and Wakataka Kage said, "Okay, that's one fewer person I need to worry about." We're a funny match in that it's just so fast, and no knock against Asakoryu. He's Maegashira 17, for God's sakes. He's having a great tournament, but bumping him up to fight the Komusubi, he got what was predicted.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, if you picked a team of those people, you would have a record of 49 points.
Okay.
I'm going to do what I did last time, and I'm going to unblock just the points.
Okay.
Because we only have 4 people, and this is our point spread right now. Someone's down at 26. Someone's at 35, someone's at 39, and someone's at 42 and starting to pull away. There was a 1 point difference, I think, between us last time. Now there's a 3-point difference.
Yeah.
And so just because
Fighting Spirit award goes to
bottom, we've got Gata, my friend Mark, who picked Kotozakura. That was his first of a long series of bad choices.
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
Right? In that champion division, you could pick Onosato or Hoshoryu or Kotozakura. And
he picked
Kotozakura. Who's, like I say, he's Kachikoshi. He's doing good. If he wins his last 2 matches, he'll get 10 wins, which is what you're looking for as an Ozeki.
Yeah.
Not a great tournament by any means, but
holding it down. Yeah, okay.
Doing all right. But then he picked Takayasu, who's having a bad tournament, and Ura, who's having a bad tournament, and Churanobi, who's having a bad tournament, and he picked Takanosho. So good choice there, Mark.
Yeah,
good choice there.
It didn't save you from the bottom, but it saved you from
Next up, we have. We have
Fighting Spirit award goes to. I knew it.
Yeah. We have Troy with 35 points. And you picked Hoshoryu, we knew was 9-3.
Right.
Or 9 sorry. What did I get? 9-4. No, 9-3. 10-3. What am I doing? I'm taking a point away from you.
How very dare.
10-3 for Hoshoryu. Sorry
That
about
throws
that.
all of your calculations into question.
Yeah, well, I'll fix any of them that are wrong right here live. So look, you're at 36. You're doing even better. You're even
Look at
closer.
that. I'm
Tell
coming
you
for
what,
you guys.
I'll tell you what. This week, my guys did not do very well in week 2. I was a little afraid that you might have passed me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right? So you got Daisho at 9-4.
Yeah, not bad.
Enki Hoshoryu, 9-4 Daisho. Tamawashi is not a big pick. Aonishki's a great pick, 9-4.
Nice, Shishi.
Shishi's not a great
Look what
pick.
you've done to me, Shishi.
Yeah. All right. So next we have, and no great surprise, is me.
Do-do-do-do.
I had Onosato. It's a good choice
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
Daisho, good choice there. Takeru Fuji having a bad second week.
Not the best. Yeah. Not the worst, but
No, but he also he was very strong. I think he's lost. I meant to bring him up for someone for us to talk about. Takeru Fuji had when we he won his first 3 and then lost 5, and he's gone 2-3 in the second week. He's just had a bad tournament.
oh,
This is his first Makekoshi in the top division ever.
wow. Huh.
So he's he fell out of the top division because he was injured and he couldn't
Right.
fight. So this is the first fighting Makekoshi he's had.
Are we seeing him any of the injuries linger?
Or
Or is he just learning the ropes again?
I think learning the ropes, right? The upper people have figured out some strategies that work against him, and he made a few mistakes in a couple of other matches. He just hasn't looked 100% sharp this tournament. He beat Hiradomi, Ura, and Ichi Yamamoto. But then you look at the people he lost to, and they're all good names, right? He lost to Wakataka Kage, and Abi, and Kotozakura, and Onosato, and Hoshoryu, right? You can't blame him for any of those losses. And Kirishima, there you go.
Yeah.
He beat Tamawashi. He lost to Daisho. So again, those are losses let's see, who picking there? Abi, maybe you can put on the list of, he's going to be 50-50, but still, it's not a sure win that he didn't get. He beat Tamawashi, who he should have. He lost to Daisho, Sekiwake. Can't do that. And then he lost to Takayasu on day 12. That was a loss maybe he shouldn't have had. But Takayasu, former Ozeki, who's doing pretty well. He's Komusubi currently. And then he beat Wakamoto Haru today. So yeah, again, these are kind of those growing pain problems. When you get high enough on the Banzuke, you've got to fight a majority of your matches against really good guys.
That's when you start to grind. Yep.
So yeah, not so good. Hakuoho, as we were talking about earlier, doing okay, but he slipped. He could have been doing better. He was on a track to do better, and hope he finishes strong. And then Shonan Naomi was my big mistake.
Oh, buddy, yeah.
He's hurt. He's clearly hurt and not doing well.
I remember back in the good old days when I could barely say his name.
Yeah.
I really can't say it now, but I will say, yeah,
You're better. You're better at it.
I'm better at it.
But yeah, I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to. I'll tell you. Here's an interesting thing. Well, let's finish looking at that.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess Shonan Naomi is my weak pick. Like if I had picked someone who was just doing 50-50,
you would
I'd be tighter in the lead.
Yeah.
With
dun, 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 dun. Listen. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna
3 points in the lead.
Angling to be another winner.
And here, even better than that, because I didn't do that right. It's 10 wins, not 3.
Wow.
10 wins, not 9. So 10 and 3. So 43 is actually the number.
And here's the thing. With the Sumo Show, when you do award-worthy picking, you get an award. We give it to you.
Really didn't have to do that while I was having see, we had Hoshoryu was a choice there, and Daisho, and Abi. So it's Abi's the best you can pick in that slot. 7 and 6 doesn't look great, but he's the best the Upper Maegashira have to offer this time.
Yeah.
And he picked Aonishiki like you, which is a great pick. And the Tommy Fuji's doing struggled back to okay. And then if we look at our Yusho and Jun Yusho picks, both he and I picked Hoshoryu to win and Onosato to Jun Yusho, which means neither of us are getting extra points based on this.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, you're going to get a point out of that.
Hey,
you're going to get a bonus point out of that, and you're going to get and it's if Hoshoryu continues, finishes as strong as he should finish second. You're going to get 2 bonus points.
Well, watch out. I'm on
Which
my
right
way.
now, if you had 2 bonus points,
you'd
be 1 point behind me.
That's yeah.
And so then that comes to our question of who does better in the next couple of days, Shono Nami or Shishi, Hakuho and Aonishiki.
Well, oh wow, that's tough.
Oh, Tamawashi and Takeru Fuji. So all 3 of these sections,
Kind of neck and neck.
Maegashira is could be what makes a decision between you and me for second place.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's exciting.
Look at that.
Yeah, our friend Masu Torita is cleaning up.
Yeah. Masu Torita is going to win 2 tournaments in a row.
That's exciting. I mean, at that point, I think you just become an honorary member of the program.
We don't know who this person is.
We don't. They're a friend that we made on Reddit who likes and who enjoys our witty banter. And
yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, skilled picking, and clearly they've got the bead on like they did last time. We were like, what?
You're making good choices. But was it last time? I don't.
Who was it? It was where all our friends who joined in picked. It seemed like they all had some inside information.
I can pull that up. Last time, Masatarita beat me by 2. So I think I might have a rival.
Yes, I mean,
but right now you're my rival because I'm trying to hold on to second place.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
I'm trying to hold on to second place.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's really pulling on Osato here.
Yeah.
Well.
So,
okay.
That's where things stand as we head into the last 2 days.
Brainstorm. We should do a segment called "That's Where Things Stand." I like it as an idea. I think it's a good idea.
Well, and you know what? That sounds applicable to a lot of things, not just sumo.
That's right.
Maybe I should grab that and make that a thing I do in different things. That's where things stand.
That's where things stand. Yeah. You could even do like a little opinion piece, maybe like
could be a little op-ed.
Yes.
Video show.
Yeah, that's right. Sort of
another episode of That's Where Things Stand.
Or you can sign off with that sort of like a and that's something. Wasn't there? Who was the famous
Walter Cronkite?
But there's
the way it was.
Oh yeah. Then there was another one, the guy that was sort of like old country time wisdom or something on NPR, I think it was. I can't remember.
Country Time Wisdom. Oh, I remember old Country Time Wisdom.
Yeah. Old Moonshine Still McGee. No, it was something. It was, and he finished like, he had a signature.
You are talking, I'm certain, about Garrison Keillor.
Isn't Garrison Keillor? Because I thought it was more like a Paul Bunyan or something. A Paul, like, shoot, I don't even know what to look for on Google to try to find out. Anyway,
there was a guy. I don't know. This has nothing to do with sumo, but it's our show. We can talk about whatever we want.
Right? Why not?
There's a guy on NPR for a long time who was a large animal veterinarian and a cowboy poet.
And what was his name?
I don't remember. I don't
Right,
remember.
that I think it's that guy.
He used
He
to be on
finished.
in the morning, uh, in the morning edition.
And then he was saying, and that's the thing that happened, or like, or
No, no,
country fiddle-dee-dee, or
country fiddle dee
chicken
dee.
in the bread
No,
pan
no.
pecking out dough, or whatever, something like that.
No. Okay, now I have no idea who you're talking about.
No, it's like he had it was like a catchphrase that you listen to his whole country spiel. We'd have like a whole like telling a tale. Was it Garrison Keillor? I don't think it was. And then he
Well, yes, no, you may. What I think you were thinking about is Garrison Keillor, who on a Prairie Home Companion at the end of every Lake Wobegon story, he would say, and that's the news from this week at Lake Wobegon. All the women are strong.
It's
All the
not
children
that.
are
It's
good
it's a very distinct thing that he would say, that it was like, and that's the country lemonade or whatever. Like it was.
Wow,
I got to find out, but we'll take this to our other podcast. What the hell is Troy saying? Which is one of my favorites.
Welcome to What the Hell is Troy Saying? Doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop.
Oh boy, yeah. Sorry, I got confused on topics, but we'll save the rest of this conversation for.
Hey, how about if we talk a little bit more about sumo and then get out of here?
Yes, let's do.
All right, so the biggest question of who's going to win the tournament, we know the answer. Onosato,
right.
Omerito, congratulations, sir. You've just won your 4th Show
on your way to Super
in 13 tournaments in the top division. Oh, by the way, you're also about to become a Yokozuna.
Wow.
Well done, sir. Well done. Now the question is, can you do it perfect? Can you go Zensho?
We believe in you.
We're very excited to find out. Hoshoryu, you had a tough first week and you've come back really strong. And hard to be too argumentative about the fact that sorry, I'm waiting for my thing, that you lost to Kirishima the other day. It was a good match. He's fought you a lot. He knows you well. You're trying to finish strong, right? Fighting Kotozakura on Saturday and Onosato on Sunday. You want to come out and win both of those matches.
That's right. And also, I will say this: the Onosato thing, like it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And so the two of them really should look to being a force,
right?
A force for good, and not be too, backbitey and fighty.
I don't think they will be. I don't think they will be.
I don't know, Hoshoryu. I think he can be a little petty. I think he can be he can hold a grudge, and
Part of that is his on dohyo performance. Everything I've heard about Hoshoryu is a great guy. Very affable.
Yes, yeah. Really, very good guy, very good to fans, just generally speaking, a good dude.
Yeah.
And I think that too, they are not so far away in age. Like they really can create.
They're 2 years apart. They're not any way away in age.
Yeah.
That made a difference 5 years ago. At this point, 24 and 26, that doesn't make a difference at all.
Not at all, yeah.
Although I will say in Japan, Hoshoryu will always be his senpai. He will always be. He's been doing it longer.
Right. Well, that adds that's a classic trope of friction of the but I do hope that they don't get caught up in any kind of nonsense.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Given the way everything's gone, that's not something I have a reasonable worry about at this point. It could happen. You're absolutely right. It could happen, but it doesn't. It's not poised to happen.
Fair enough.
I know you want it to be. I know you and the shadowy organization is going to put them at each other.
I'm wondering. I think that they're going to pit them against each other. They're going to, that suddenly Hoshoryu's twin brother will show up out of nowhere and with a mustache and a nefarious plan, and then
here's the most likely way I see that coming to pass.
Yeah,
is if Hoshoryu, or if Onosato just starts winning every tournament, and and Hoshoryu and it never comes down to the final Sunday. They never have these. He's never close enough that he's fighting to win it at the end,
Right.
and the newspapers start getting on him, and
Yeah.
then suddenly it gets whipped up into a thing.
Yeah. That's
He
what I
wants
worry.
to win a tournament. Damn it! I've
Right,
got to get this guy out of my way.
And then it becomes this irrational, yeah. That's what I worry about.
I don't see that, and then even if that does happen, I don't see it becoming a
Unfolding that
thing.
way. Yeah.
But we'll see. That's the thing about sumo. You just never know. Yeah. So we've got to see who's coming in to be at Stan's house on the final day. Let me just look here at how many people are potentially there. Wakamoto Haru is currently 6-7. Abi is currently 7-6. Hitodomi 6-7. Tobizaru. Looking at people who have a chance at it. Atami Fuji. Tokihaya.
Oh, yeah, we don't. I mean, what is Tobizaru at?
Tobizaru is at. I gotta find him again.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm just curious because we usually talk about him a little bit more than we have.
Well, he's not having a great tournament.
Not really doing it. Yeah.
Tobizaru Magashira 6. He is 6-7.
Okay.
So he's got to win. He's got to win the rest of his tournament. He's got to win Saturday and Sunday. And he will be fighting Abi on day 14. He's got to beat Abi and then win whoever he's paired against on Sunday. Tokihate, Koto Shoho, who, if you remember, missed the first 5 days. He was out with that leg injury. He is 6-2 since coming back.
Wow.
And so that's essentially the same as being 6-7 overall, which means that if he wins his last 2, he can get that Kachikoshi. Remember, I was saying, well, he can't get a Kachikoshi, but he wants to get 5 wins.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's got 5 wins. Now he's got 6 wins.
So he's on his way. He can
still do it. But the path runs through Stan's house.
Uh-oh.
So, which is great. That's good.
That's good sumo, but
Yeah. So who's he fighting today? He has to beat Sadanomi.
Okay, that's
and if he beats Sadanomi, he'll be 7-2-5, and he'll get an invitation to brunch at Stan's.
Well, that's an exciting watch. Yeah. Well, good for him.
So yeah, that's a very exciting thing to watch over these next couple of days. Can Kotozakura get to 10 wins, which he'd really like to do? That's something to watch over the next couple of days. Can Kirishima get another win so he's 11? Could he get 2, which would be an advantage in his quest to regain Ozeki-hood? So yeah, still lots of interesting bits of drama.
Points. Yeah, definitely points of friction to keep an eye on.
We.
I don't know. I've had too many high cheers, I think.
You know the joke about that? About how the father takes the kid to the baseball game, to his first big game at the stadium, and it's about the 5th inning, and the kid goes, Dad, can I go wee? He says, "Oh, I got look. The bases are loaded. Can you wait? Can you hold it? No, I can wait. And about an inning later, he's like, "Dad, can I go wee now?" He says, "Oh, okay. Do you really have to? Because we've got to. It's a tight situation." Says, "No, I can wait." And gets to the top of the 7th inning stretch, and he says, "Okay, you can go wee now. Let's go. It's time to go wee." And the kid stands up on a seat and goes, "Wee!"
I did not know that joke, but that's cute. Ooh-wee. But yeah, it has a double meaning for folks who may not know. But
Huh?
Yeah.
And we could totally turn that into a sumo joke, right? Can I go in? Well, no, it's Haku Oho's fighting now. Can we
Right.
wait?
Yeah.
And you wait till it's Shodai's match. So you can go we now.
Nobody wanted to know this, but famously, I have a very small bladder, and so it takes about an hour,
And
and
which is where we're at.
right there,
All
right
right.
at that
So what
point.
you're saying is I should stop vamping and
Wee. That's right.
I shouldn't, and at the very least, I should stop yelling "we." So when will we be back? We didn't talk about this beforehand.
No, we didn't. Oh, right, because we did
We
our
were gonna try Sunday, but I can't do it Sunday.
okay.
Do you want to go for Tuesday or?
Tuesday's a rough one for me. I've got something in the evening.
All
you
right.
wanna try
Well, just go to next
Wednesday?
Friday.
Okay, we'll do
And no one will tune in.
yeah, I know, right? Do we want to do it on Wednesday?
I can't do it Wednesday. I have my other show.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Yeah, okay. Well, then we'll see everybody on the 30th.
That's right. That is next Friday.
All right. Okay. 30th, 7 p.m. here in this very place.
The usual time, the usual place, the usual knuckleheads.
That's right. Yeah. Knucklehead. I like that.
that could be our slogan.
We're knuckleheads. We'll make you a knucklehead sandwich. No,
why I oughta.
why I oughta. Well, why I oughta.
Well, you oughta grab your drums.
Okay.
You have been listening to The Sumo Show, a live podcast about the art and sport of sumo. Your hosts tonight have been Stan Brown and Troy Hewitt. Production by Troy Hewitt. Sommeliering by Stan Brown. And initial charge by Touchy Eye Troy.
Hi.
So until next Friday, when we'll wrap up our coverage of the Natsu Basho, we say to you, Ciao, matane!
Bye.